Yes, welcome to yet another snack and a story with yours truly. Uh, Today's meal, I guess you could say, is a waffle in the shape of Texas. Don't ask me why that is. Just accept the fact. Probably put a bit too much on there, but who cares? I'm by myself. Living in my own house, I can do what I please. And then to wash it down, I got some chocolate milk. You can't see it, but it's in this mug. So I guess I'll slice this up. And this isn't burnt. It's well done, or I don't know what it is, but whatever. And I guess I'll get on to it. You know, someone said, I don't remember who it was, but somebody said that funk's been around since the dawn of Earth, and in fact it's as old as the dirt. Well, I find this theory to be true because plenty of my fondest memories have to do uh, with the principles implied in that. Now, enough of myself being lyrical because I'm sure you're all hysterical as to what is on my mind. And I've gathered here, I believe these are all of them, all of the earliest memories that I have of this one musical genre, of which I have such a glowing affinity for. And I guess I'll go ahead and tell you. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is being recorded on a Monday, the 11th of May, I believe. You will see this most likely on Friday. I don't know when that is, but whatever. So, the first memory that I could very well perceive was in movies. Plenty of Sly and the Family Stones repertoire is included. Two of which I remember in particular is that one Scooby-Doo movie and Shrek. I don't remember if it was the first one or the second one with the Scooby-Doos, but in one of those movies, it had the song, probably the most famous song, "Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again," uh, as I believe a musical number or something. And I remember I very much liked that version, or I remember hearing the original version, maybe on the radio or something, and hearing it in the film at what age, 5 or 6, I can't remember, was a delight to me. And then in Shrek, I believe this was also a musical number. At the very end of the first film was their song "Dance to the Music." And I'm sure other songs of theirs were put into films, but those are the ones I remember fondly. So there you go, I guess. So that was one memory of the funk that has been with me for many years, just showing you that, to be fair, it was really an act of clever foreshadowing on my part, if I must say. And now I shall detail, I guess, another aspect that reassured my love for this musical genre. I can't remember anything from when I was around, I don't know, 7 or 8 till about 12 or 13. I don't know, maybe nothing just didn't occur there. I'm not too sure. But when I was 14 and in year 9, I believe, or 8th grade, I was in science class or whatever. I can't remember. Maybe it was physics. I don't remember the exact denomination in particular. Pardon me. But one of our, I guess, assignments was to like make a type of a roller coaster or something. I can't remember out of what, but it was just a roller coaster, whatever, and out of stuff, kind of like that one breakfast contraption from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I believe that's what. No, that's not. But it was, as I said, it was a rudimentary sort of a model, and evidently, in order to get us in the mood, the teacher at the time had put on the song "Love Roller Coaster" by the Ohio Players. And obviously I've heard that song before, and so I very much appreciated it. I don't think anybody else, most people were most likely unaware of the greatness of that track, and most likely still remain unaware of its greatness. That to me they came off as rather anodyne personages for not appreciating the groove, or however you call it. But that was very nice, I believe. Pardon me, Jesus. I told you already, I think, of the time I heard Parliaments tear the roof off the sucker on a local radio station. Back when I was 10. That was one of the ones I told you about that, so there's no need for me to repeat it. But I can tell you, however, the first time that I heard Flashlight, it was actually when I can't remember, like maybe in sophomore year, when I was 16 or something like that. In this one YouTube video. I can't remember the name of the video, but it was like a YTP. And I'm not going to say what it stands for because it's a rather infantile nomenclature. But I believe it was of the program Caillou. You know, that one, I guess, children's program of that very whiny child who was bald, I guess. I don't know, but it was. You know how they do it. They take the clips, then they mess with them, fiddle around with them, and such, and make something out of it. Well, at the very end of the video, I can't remember the name of the video or whatever, but at the very end of it, I believe one of the figures was altered somehow, like, I don't know, his arm was doing that, and one of it was doing that, and then it was going into him and all that, and it was turning into some very squamous Lovecraftian monster. And as it was going through this rather rank metamorphosis, the song Flashlight by Parliament was playing. And I very much liked this song, but I had never heard it before. So when my brother and I were going through the lot of King of the Hill, you know, just watching it in whole as we do, and this was around the same time, so when I was around 16. There was this one episode. I don't remember the episode. It's all. Or you know what? No, I do. I believe it was that one episode where Bill was going to enter an eating competition or something, and they like went to this one person's, I don't know, mansion or whatever, and I believe he was voiced by Jeff Garlin, this one-off character. And he was like having a party or whatever. I don't know. I can't quite remember the events, but either way, Flashlight was playing, and then I said, "Hey, it's that song. What's that song called?" I said to my brother, and he said, "It's Flashlight by Parliament." I said, "Yeah, I like that song." Yeah. So then I knew the name of it. So yeah. And then just throughout the years, or not the years, or the couple of years that were in between that, I heard various other songs by Parliament, and even Kool and the Gang, of all people. You know, I heard Aqua Boogie and Dr. Funkenstein and obviously Mothership Connection, and grew to like the group, mind you, with a sort of rarefied air that's not expressed really to most artists. But yeah, what a savage I am. I mean, I just took a bit of waffle that I just coughed up and put it right back in me mouth. That is just horrible. Ugh. I don't condone that behavior whatsoever. I suggest none of you do it. But this last memory I have is just really something special. It was, and it's the most recent memory that I have before I fell in love with P-Funk or funk in general. It was in one of my classes. I can't remember which one it was. In some or another type of history class, we were discussing, I believe, the British government. And the teacher said, what's the name of, the House of Commons or whatever. I'll give you a hint. It was the name of a real funky band back in the 70s. And I was, like I said, I liked Parliament at the time, but I didn't really, I was going to answer, but all of a sudden this one lady, one lady rather passionately said, "Oh, Parliament!" And this was before the whole fiasco that involved me making a lot of videos that I had to end up deleting, and all of that nonsense. But at that moment, or her and I were not smitten, but on a telepathic level seemed to sympathize with one another. I don't know. To this day even, I kind of would like to reconnect with said person and discuss the genre and everything, because perhaps she was a funketeer or something or other in that respect. I'm not sure, but it was indeed very comforting and very refreshing to see that somebody else other than me, and I know the teacher was aware of it, but somebody else other than me that was of my age group knew of the Funkadelic. And so closes the many memories I have of that genre, funk, for now. And after that, obviously, when I got out of school and was going to go into college at Seattle, but never really succeeded, I started listening. I figured, hey, Parliament's a good enough group, I may as well listen to the rest of their stuff. I started listening to all of their albums in 2018 and right away fell in love with them. I mean, it was just instant gentrification. I was forever changed by those albums, and they sort of took me back to a simpler time, a time that really I would like to live perpetually in, rather than, any other period, to be frank, because those seem to be some of my happiest days, aside from the whole video game thing, And so, as I was listening to these albums, I got finished listening to them, all, I believe 9 or 10 of them, I can't remember how many of them there are. I was in a very difficult stage in life, very difficult, and was struggling with identity and such, and nearly almost took my own life until, in lieu of, in the midst of starting this whole YouTube thing, I decided to listen to all of Funkadelic's albums, because obviously they were one and the same with Parliament. And those I found to be a much more mature, refined, I think, personally. Well, I like them both, but I prefer Funkadelic over Parliament because they seem to have more variety of sound and theme and concept and rhythm and all that. It sort of brought me forth into adulthood, and I'm sure I've told this story once or twice before, but I'm just trying to reaffirm it. So, yeah. And obviously, you know the rest, I'm sure. So I need not bore you any longer with my dissertations. But anyway, that was that was my snack and a story about I guess early memories of the funk and how it sort of made me what I am today, really. And in fact, it's inspired me in many ways to not only experiment in songwriting, which I've done. I don't think I'm very good, but you know, you have to keep on practicing, I suppose. And also, it's I forgot to mention this in my top 20 Funkadelic songs, but one of my favorites is actually Charlie, or Funkin' Getting Ready to Roll, I believe that's what it's called. And that song is about a man who is a lover of classical music, who basically gets converted into listening to funk and such after much recalcitrance. He actually, it isn't very receptive to it at the beginning, but then of course he grows to love it. That has inspired me. I don't know when I'm going to do this. Maybe after I finish this goddamn mystery novel I've been working far too long on, and I'm actually not rewriting, because I haven't even finished the first draft, but retranscribing into this little book here, because I want to make this thing as slim as possible, and that'll take maybe a month to do. But once I get done with that, and maybe done with another novel that I intend to write, I don't know about what, but I intend to write, I will then perhaps write a very long book, maybe about as long as, I don't know, Henry James's The Bostonians, because you can see that's a very long book, concerning the life of a composer who is very much enraptured by classical music and is classically trained and such, who keeps being encouraged to listen to this new genre of music that's emerged in the 70s known as funk, but who is not taken with it whatsoever and tries his best to suppress it. And in the end, basically succumbs to it. And I shall call that I was going to call it A Little Life Under the Sun, because that was a misheard lyric. I will say that is a misheard lyric of that song, Flashlight. But instead I shall call it A Little Light Under the Sun, because everybody's got a little light under the sun, and it's up to us to exploit it. So you can see very much that it's, like I said, ever since childhood, really, it's been a part of my life and continues to be. So, yeah. This has gone on for way too long. This probably will not have an intro because it's like 26 minutes and I can't really export things properly that are over like 20 minutes because, I don't know, memory and such or whatever. So this may just go up as is. I'm not sure. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for another one here come next week, and well, I guess we'll see you around.